Face here, and I'm watering my flowers. Whoa! The Mr. Men are next on Nick Jr.
Free socks.
Dipping, bobbing, diving, Alfred's always striving, he seldom wears a frown. You'll never keep a duck down. Go surf now, everybody resign. 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 Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, David. Good to see you.
Hello, Isaac.
Good to see you, man. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much.
Good. Excellent.
All right, let me go ahead and turn on my camera as well. There you
I
go.
can see the person now.
Awesome, yeah. All right. Thing is, I'm really anxious and all that stuff because I never talked to a UK voice actor before, and I'm just worried that I'm going to go wrong with this because I've never done a Zoom interview before.
Well, it doesn't matter. If it does go wrong, it doesn't matter, does it? It won't go wrong at all. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. It's fine. It's fine. Are you recording
Yeah, I'm
the
recording
video
this.
as well as...
Yeah, I'm recording the video as well. In fact, I'm recording on OBS along with Zoom. So yeah.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that's
Right.
good. Yeah,
Right.
great.
Right. So I got a couple questions here. Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me along.
Yeah, sorry, you go first.
No, just to say thank you very much for inviting me. It's I'm intrigued as to how you found out about me, and I'm open to all your questions. I hope I can be of some interest to your viewers and listeners.
Of course. I mean, some of my fans know you as the voice of the Nick Jr. face, if you remember that.
I do. Yes.
Hey,
just pouring myself a drink.
If you don't mind, could you give us a little sample of the face before we start?
It's a long time ago, but I think it's me, Face. It's Dora the Explorer.
It was along those lines.
Oh yeah.
But it's such a long time since I did it. Although I was the voice of him in the UK for 5 years, I think, which sounds a lot, but it was it was an occasional job.
Exactly.
And but yes, I did replace the American voice for the UK version of Nick Jr. So it was a very nice little regular job that I had. But it was it was a long time ago, Isaac. 15 years ago, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think they replaced him. I think they replaced him in 2005. At least that's what I think. Right. So so we got the questions here from some of my fans here. Since I did a little Twitter thing, so some of these some of these are from my viewers as well. I hope you don't mind that.
Okay. Not at all.
Right, so I'm going to mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to mix my questions with their questions as well. All right. Right.
Please do.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to start here with, how did you start your career as a voice actor / performer?
In my childhood, because... I'll take my glasses off.
All right.
And then you can see me a bit better. I just... As a child, I got a lot of enjoyment and fun out of impersonating voices that I'd heard on TV and impersonating neighbors who lived around me and my relatives and basically anyone. And I've just always done that. It's just always been fun to do that sort of thing. And so I suppose in a strange roundabout way, just turning off my naughty. I that although I didn't know it, of course, at the time, was perhaps where the beginnings of my career started. And as I got older, I went to college and what have you. And at school, I used to get into a lot of trouble because I used to impersonate the teacher for the entertainment of my school colleagues. So it was a sort of way of being accepted. So I did that. Then I went to college, and I was involved in shows and things at college. And I started quite early, I guess about the mid 1980s. A friend of mine who was working for a radio station here in the UK at the time suggested I put together a little tape of some of the voices I could do. And he helped me enormously. And I started sending these tapes, and they were tapes. They were literally cassette tapes in those days. I sent them out to various local radio stations in the north of England where I used to live. And I picked up, surprisingly, I was picked up, and people started using me for doing voicing commercials. Mostly for character voices. And then, so then in slightly later in the 1980s, I then went. I actually have got I'm a fully trained, classically trained actor, and I went to the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire, which had a very good acting diploma course, and I studied theatre arts for 3 years. So I'm a fully fledged and through actor as well as a voice artist. So, but the voice work has always been the principal thing that I've done, and it's what I think I'm possibly is my strength really, and what I enjoy. So it's become the mainstay of my career. But I have worked on stage. I've done a lot of stage work. I've done bits and pieces of work on TV and in the odd film, and masses and masses of radio drama for the BBC. Yeah. So it's been a long haul, really, Isaac, and that's so the beginnings. Long answer to your short question. That's where I began my career.
That's impressive.
As a child.
That's impressive. All right, so this next question, this was asked twice by some of my viewers. What's your least and most favorite character that you voiced or performed overall?
There's so many favorite characters. I tend really to try to forget the least favorite characters. I can think of a least favorite series I worked on, which was it was a dreadful Italian animation, which seems to have been made on a very, very cheap budget. And I was brought in to, I was brought in to revoice, to dub quite a number of the characters. And it was so low budget. None of it made any sense at all. The stories,
of course not.
The studio were just doing it for the money, and so God. In the end was I. But it was a job, and you can't love every job you do. Some are quite tedious or unrewarding, but they are, the opposite side. The flip side of that is that occasionally you get to work on the most fantastic projects with really extraordinary, talented people, and you have a laugh, and it's a creative, collaborative process, and exactly. Those are the best jobs of all, really.
Exactly.
So you wouldn't. I mean, your viewers and listeners wouldn't necessarily know some of the projects that a lot of them actually that I've done, because they've been mostly British or
yeah. I mean, some
European
of them, some of them are British, but lots of them are American, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, I mean, I suppose an element of my work is revoicing or dubbing from American English into UK English, because some broadcasters here in the UK specify that they want an animation, a series, to have an English sound to it rather than an American sound, even though, of course, it looks American on screen. So, that I mean, there was a long-running series I did called Maggie and the Ferocious Beast.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Weren't you Hamilton?
Which was, I think it was produced in Canada, but obviously had Canadian stroke American voices on it. And I did a lot of work on that for a UK broadcaster. That happens quite a lot.
Exactly.
Favorites, I would say, I'm sorry, I'm going off track here.
It's okay, no problem.
Would be, my first ever big animated series that I was hired to do was a series called Okie Doke.
Okie Doke, I remember watching on YouTube.
Okay, yeah. Many others in between. I mean, more recently, I would say I especially have found it an absolute thrill beyond words to be in the feature film Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon.
Oh yeah.
Was shown on Netflix in the States, I believe, at Christmas. So,
I haven't checked Netflix in a while, so I'll have to check.
Yeah. So that was, it's a strange job because there are no words in that film. It's sounds, but I did the voice, and it is a voice of this robot character.
Just the sounds of the robot instead of the voice.
Yeah, exactly. They wanted a human tone to his robotic noises. So, and I got the job, and it was fantastic. And it subsequently was nominated for an Oscar. So,
wow,
for best feature animation. So that's been a big thrill most recently. So I hope that answers the question.
I'm really glad to say it does answer my question. All right, next question here. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Lots of these are face questions. I hope you don't mind.
Face questions, right?
As in the nick to your face, because everyone knows you for face.
Yeah, yeah. I'll try and remember.
I'll try to limit some of these questions, actually. All right, yeah. God, everyone's so obsessed with that, and I don't mind that. Let's see. Let's see how this one. All right. So this one's also a two-parter question. What was it like voicing for Face, and how did you get the voice of Face?
I had to audition for the voice of Face, and I was probably, I don't know how many other people auditioned for it, but my voiceover agent at the time suggested me to the production team at Nick Jr. in London. They were looking to revoice the American Face for the British audience. Yeah. So I auditioned and I got the job.
Wow.
So in terms of the voice, Isaac, there was a brief, if you know what I mean. They gave me an idea of what they were looking for, the sort of sound that they wanted for him, and I have to say it's a voice that I have used before, and they liked it, and that's it. I got the job. So
wow.
So it was, and it became, as said to you earlier, it became a very nice little regular job for me, and I was very pleased to have it.
I'm proud. I'm really proud. Never knew I could be proud of a voice actor. All right, here we go. Here come the comments. All right, this one's from. All these are from Twitter, by the way, because I realized that you had the Twitter and everything.
I am on Twitter. Yes, I've been tweeting today.
All right, so I'm gonna mention these names as well. All right, so lots of people are asking, like, was it you who played Moose Moose on the Noggin block on Viva and Nick Jr. or something?
No, I can't remember every job I've done, Isaac, because I've been doing this a long time, but that does not ring any bells at all with me.
Oh.
Sorry to disappoint. Sorry to disappoint everyone.
That's okay. That's okay. It's fine. All right. My friend Amber wanted me to ask you about the Angry Kid. Like, what was it like being on Angry Kid?
Yes. Angry Kid is yes, it's another one of those really outstanding jobs pieces of work that I've done. It came about because when I was at the Birmingham Conservatoire, a postgraduate student there, I was friends with. Her name is Jo Allen, and she. This is long after we both graduated. Slightly lost touch with her, but she ended up working as a production assistant, I think, at Aardman Animation in Bristol, here in Britain, and she was working with this director called Darren Walsh, who was doing this remarkable experimental animation, and which turns out to be Angry Kid. But what they needed was an off-screen voice for his father. And
Dad,
he never appears. You never see Dad. So she rang me up and said, could you do an audition? And I remember actually auditioning on the phone, on my mobile phone, just speaking to the director. And I was at a studio in London and he was in Bristol, and I just did, look, son, stop it. No, stop that messing about. That's enough. You've done enough now. Stop it. And it was all that sort of thing. And again, I got the job. And so we ended up, again, it was very much we recorded the voices first and they were animated later, which is the way with all animation, or most animation. And so, excuse me, it was great to be a part of that, because it's such a unique and bizarre series, and very much more for teenagers and adults.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I can tell from your little comedy reel. Like, I heard you. I saw you slap Angry Kid's hand. You said, "Pack in, you little shit," and I was laughing so hard.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Well, that was even more bizarre, because they actually got me to appear in one of them, not as Dad, but as this sort of bad-tempered green road safety.
Right.
Road safety officer.
Right.
Yes. Which you wouldn't know. Just to put that in context, Isaac, in the 1970s, here in Britain, there were a series of what they used to call public safety films,
like public information films,
public information films, which were shown on TV, right. And one of them had this man who taught children how to cross the road safely, and he was called the Green Cross Code Man.
The Green Cross Code Man? Wow.
Yeah, so that silly character I played with the ridiculous costume on was really a parody of
That's
the
what I
Green Cross
assumed.
Code Man.
That's what I assumed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah. So Angry Kid's been brilliant, and we've done some more recent episodes which they have used a different way of animating it, which is less stressful,
like
less,
CGI, or so it's like more CGI and less claymation or something. Of course.
That's right. That's right.
Of course. CGI
so
is the new age, I guess.
It is, but there's still a place, I think, for 2D and for model,
Right.
3D model animation as well, because you that's how Aardman work with all their most of their productions,
Right.
including the Shaun.
Exactly.
It's a mix. They do use CGI, of course, as well. But the models are that sort of size, and you can hold them and move them, and they're fantastic.
I guess they're kind of like
bigger.
this size or something, like almost a bit bigger.
A little
than this.
bigger.
A little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't even fit it right.
No, right.
Damn it.
So yeah.
All right.
Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that definitely answers my question. That definitely answers Amber's question. Thank you, Amber, for asking that. All right.
Thank you, Amber.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Amber. All right. Let's see. Another face question. Here comes. There's so many of them. I'm sorry, but I like in the tweet I made, like I asked them, and I put in the UK face part right by your name, so that was my fault. Yeah, that was kind of.
I was wondering how you'd all heard my UK version of face, which was actually, a cheat because I replaced the American face.
Yeah, so. Exactly. That's related to the question that IDK asked here. That's his name, by the way.
Yeah.
IDK the Blue Wolf asks, has David Holt ever watched some of the original US face promos when dubbing some of them for the Nick Jr. UK network, or no?
Yes, all of them, because I had to, because
of course.
That whatever they produced in the States, whatever promos, links Nick Jr. produced in the States, they sent them over to London, and I had to revoice them, all of them. So some were links between programs, and we did masses and masses of those with lots of different program titles. But then there were trailers as well for new series coming up, or so yes, I've seen them all because I've revoiced them all.
I actually remember some of them on the YouTube, like Face the Flashlight, Face Underwater, I think. What else?
Yes, and Face in his vegetable garden, and
oh yeah, I remember from that. Yeah, we just found that like promo yesterday on YouTube. Like we thought we would never find the video promo of it, and I was wondering if you still had it, but then I realized, hey, we just found it on YouTube, so I don't need to ask that.
Yeah. I don't have any of them in my possession. So if they exist, Nickelodeon will have them, but
of
Nick
course.
Jr. But or they'll be on YouTube. Like
yeah,
most
of course.
Things are.
All of them will be found one day. Yeah.
And they were specific about the changing the voice to sound British, but to have a flavor of the original voice. But I didn't care for the original voice, and I hope this doesn't get to the back to the guy who actually did it. But
yeah, he did a really good job on him too. Yeah.
He had a kind of voice like that, didn't he?
Yeah, something kind of like
Jr.
Something kind of like this.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's coming up next on Nick Jr. And so
wow, good job.
Yeah. Well, I had to listen to it
all the
5
time.
years.
Thank you, IDK, for that question. All right, let's see the next one. This one is by this username's a bit weird, so I'm just gonna call him Michael. All right. Okay. So So Michael asked, "Did you love voicing Pablo from Pabo, the Little Red Fox?"
I did. That was great. It was a really sweet, charming series. but that must be, how many years old? I don't know. That must be 25 years old.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yes, and we had a very small cast on that. 1, 2, 3, 4 of us, I think, did all the voices on that series. And yeah, it was charming. It was very gentle and sweet, and I can't remember a huge amount about the series, but I do remember it was very charming and yeah, enjoyable, nice job. But as I say, it's a bit of a dim, distant memory because it's got to be 25 years ago.
Of course, yeah. Long distant memories are a bit of a forgetful thing. Oh no. Thank you, Michael, for that question.
And you have to remember, I've been doing I've been doing this over nearly getting on for 35 years, and
Right.
And I've worked on about 100 series, so I'm if I can't remember every single one, don't be too harsh on me.
All right, this is where I get a little bit mixed up with the name, so I'm just gonna have to go over the list I have here on Notepad here.
No problem.
All right, so let's see. So we already answered a couple of these questions with face, so I think we've already done that. All right, let's see. Oh, this was related to the face redesign, like the new face, like from 2004, I presume. All right, so here it is. I really hope you remember. All right, so this one is also, did he know about the redesign of the character of face that was abroad and would eventually come to the UK to some capacity?
What happened in the end was I'd been the voice of face for it's about 5 years. Then they took a decision to because Face linked all the programs on Nick Jr.
Right.
And he didn't present the programs, but he linked them. There came a decision that they were going to use a different character, and of course I thought, right, okay, this is that's it. I can't now remember what the character was.
I think the name was Piper Opossum. It was a yellow possum, I think.
I think you might be right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you are right. I can't remember. I do remember auditioning for that. Oh. And understandably, I didn't get the job.
Of course not.
No, of course not. They wouldn't. Why would they?
They want a young character.
So actually, yeah, they decided that my time as Face, or that Face in total was they were going to change it, but they didn't tell me. And
what? They did?
They didn't tell me.
Wow, that's horrible.
I had been working for 5 years, and the phone just stopped ringing. And I got my agent to put in a call and say, David's still around. Yeah, what's happening? Wow. Yeah, they said, yep, no, that's it. They didn't so much as fire me, Isaac, as just didn't employ me anymore.
Oh,
I suppose
that makes sense. Yeah, I shouldn't have put that in.
But what upset me was the fact that they just never thought or were too embarrassed.
They never thought to alarm you or anything tell me like that.
Well, just to explain their decision and say, thank you very much, you've done a great job and we wish you well. There was no, and I felt that was discourteous.
That hurts. That really hurts.
It did at the time. It did. You get used to it, though. I mean, honestly, when in this profession, you take the rough and the smooth, and it's in the past. It doesn't.
Yeah,
matter.
It's all in the past. All
That's
right,
what happened.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Right. Next up is another question here. It says, all right, so this one's not really in the face. We're going to take a break from that for now. All right. This one is from That Guy Walking By. He asks, hey, David.
That guy walking.
Yeah, that guy walking by.
Hey,
I am just walking by
that guy
you.
walking by.
All right. He asks, hey, David, which do you prefer, screen acting or voice acting?
I love voice acting because I've been doing a bit of screen acting recently, and it's so slow. Voice acting is fast, and it's detailed, and it's fun, and you get on with it. Yeah, it's hard work.
Exactly.
Because you have to be completely focused, and you don't have your face to express your emotions, and you only have your voice. And some people can't do it. But also, great screen acting is a huge, a great skill, which I haven't mastered. But from time to time, I do a little bit, and it's a bit of fun. But I then realize, gosh, how slow it is. And I like to work fast, and so in a way, yes, I do prefer the voice acting to working on screen. But working on stage is a different thing altogether, because it involves a massive commitment of time and energy,
and a massive crowd too.
Everything, but you get the reward at the end of each performance. Hopefully, if it's good, with audience applause. So each thing has its own merits.
Yeah,
definitely. But my preference certainly is for voice acting.
That's right. All right. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. That guy walking by.
That guy walking by, there he is. He's just walking by there.
Thank you for answering my question.
There he goes.
And there he goes by, that guy walking by.
Yeah, all right. Thanks a lot, bye.
All right, let's see what other questions we got here. Oh, here's another one. What was your favorite childhood show when you were growing up? Asked Ren.
Right. Okay. Yes. Well, I'm so old that you won't remember any of the shows that I enjoyed.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
As a boy. Well, you might have seen them come around all over again. Particularly, I loved an American show, a Hanna-Barbera show. I think it was Hanna-Barbera, called the
Wacky Races. Wacky Races, yeah.
Wacky Races. Dick Dastardly and Muttley. They were. I loved them. My favorite of all. And I'm not sure whether this traveled to the States or not. Was a groundbreaking puppet children's TV series here in the UK called Thunderbirds.
Oh, Thunderbirds. I think that arrived in the States. I'm not really sure. I don't know.
Possibly it did. Thunderbirds was produced by a genius, a man called Jerry Anderson. He was a British filmmaker who got into making children's TV series in the 50s and developed them became very sophisticated. And in the 1960s, when I started watching these as a child, they were absolutely astonishingly good, and they were so brilliantly made and so exciting that it was based around this organization called International Rescue, who basically any great crisis that was happening around the world, International Rescue were sent to with all their extraordinary spacecraft and various brilliant technical pieces of equipment were sent to save the day. And Thunderbirds, you'll find that on YouTube. It's just brilliant. And it was filmed in 35mm film in color. And although it was black and white when I first started watching on TV, but then
course.
we eventually got a color TV.
Yeah.
And watching them again now, the quality is extraordinary, and they were so exciting. These episodes of Thunderbirds. There were other series made by the same people, Stingray, Captain Scarlet, and various others. But Thunderbirds for me was my absolute favorite, and it still stands up today. And it's had a reboot as well in recent years.
Oh yeah.
Where of course they've gone and used CGI.
Stop.
Whereas the original was actually, the original
puppets
was
on string.
Puppets.
You just have to like hold it like that.
On string. With mouths that actually moved in time to the voice track. Brilliant. Yeah, anyway, it's something for your listeners and you. Yes, something to have a little look at on YouTube, and you may get what I mean. To a 7-year-old boy, these programs were just so exciting. So yeah, there we are. That was my favorite.
I really hope they recognize that. Thank you, Ren, for that question. Next up is this one. Ask him if he gets any fan mail or any recognition.
I get fan mail. Yes. These days, it's in the form of emails.
Of course. That's why I got in contact.
It's great. I'm very happy. It's lovely. It's so nice to know that people are aware of what I've done over the years, because it can be quite an anonymous sort of job. Although you get a credit at the end of a TV program, you don't ever get credits for other types of work.
That's right.
I, of course, never got a credit for Face, because he was, Face was a character. Face was nothing to do with me. I just did his voice. He was a character. Of
course not.
So actually, and because I've been involved in a few very popular projects over the years that perhaps have a big fan base, I do get emails and requests for photos and autographs and things, which is lovely, and I always respond to them, because I think that it means a lot to me, and I hope in return it means a lot to the person that I respond to. So yeah, it happens. Well, I don't get recognized in the street.
Of course not.
Because nobody ever sees.
No, of course not.
Nobody ever sees me.
Well, I'm seeing you, and I recognize you right away.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, from the icon, of course.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Like, speaking of the face thing from earlier, Nick Jr. UK had this little message board thing, and in that message board, of course, they had face. And, like, the thing is, there's a little forum on there that, like, there's a little message board on there. Like, everyone was saying that Face had different voices on the other TV shows. They were all so amazed. And one of the Nick Jr. UK admins said, yes, Face is very talented. He lends his voice onto other TV shows. And that's you.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. And that was it. It was just one of those, I'm afraid I was the victim of, I won't say my success, but I was, there was one series, I can't remember what it was now, which went out on Nick Jr., where inadvertently or beyond my control, this series went out, and I used the same voice on the series as I used for Face. So one or two, viewers picked it up, and they had to invent some story.
Did it involve fixing engines like Engie Benji, or?
No, I don't. I can't remember which. I did work on that, but no, I can't remember which particular one it was. But
I see.
It was maybe Team Umizu. No,
Team Umizu. No, that's way later. No. That's way later in.
Yeah, it's much later.
Yeah.
It could have been Pablo the Little Red Fox. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Pablo could have been on there because he was on Nick Jr., of course. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Let's see, what other questions do I have here? Oh, here we go. Now comes the sad part of the interview, the final question.
Oh.
And it's sad because I want to keep talking to you. That's the thing. Because you're
How long do you normally do?
What?
How long do you normally interview for?
An hour.
Well, we haven't done an hour yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. We gotta keep this going somehow. We gotta keep it going. All right, here we go. All right. So yeah, a little precursor to this question. So the Nick Jr. US Twitter, they keep posting these classic face clips, and everyone keeps thinking that he's coming back, but Nick Jr. never replies to those. So here it is. As part of Viacom's the owner of Nickelodeon, Nick Jr. By the way. All right. As part of Viacom's constant reliance on pre-existing popular properties, do you ever see Face coming back?
Possibly, but I can guarantee they won't use my voice. I can guarantee.
I feel bad.
They'll use they may use a child. I'm not sure.
Oh no. Just like the new Thomas reboot.
Quite possibly.
Oh, no.
Maybe, yeah. Or I don't know. And I fully understand why. Why would they?
Yeah.
They might give him an ethnic sound or something much more contemporary. I imagine that if he did come back, he would have a really quite a different sound, a much more contemporary sound, and it wouldn't be me.
For some reason, I if Face came back, I would imagine myself as the voice of him, since I sound young and I could do the thing like that, like a little trumpet thing. I think.
Yeah. Whether they would use that, I don't know.
I mean, it almost sounds like it. Maybe not. I don't know. It kind of sounds like a U.S. version of the UK Face, a little bit. Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I suspect they would go for I don't know. They might go for a sort of very an identifiably ethnic voice. And I can understand that because that's happening a lot in voice casting, certainly here in Britain.
Of course.
Maybe.
Oh, I forgot about this question. I keep getting questions on this list. There's so many of them I keep forgetting.
That's good. I'm so pleased.
We can get this thing going for longer.
Yeah, I'm all yours.
The longer we go, the better. Don't worry, viewers. He's all yours.
I'm all yours. I've got nowhere to go tonight, so.
As long as you don't spam, "Oh my God, David, I'm your biggest fan," or something like that. All right, let's see. Here we go. Speaking of the thing, here it is. Was he told to change how the trumpet noise was done, or did he come up with it himself?
They wanted it to sound exactly like the American version. I think. I think they did.
Yeah, for some reason, in most of these promos, like that. I just heard that in the background. Like, I heard that, David. It's a good thing your microphone catches it.
I'd forgotten all about that aspect of it. Yes, but yes, I think he signed off each with a little
goodbye, so long, see you later. Yeah. Goodbye, so long, see you later. Yeah. Oh,
later.
Oh, did you remember him saying coming up next is Nickelodeon, coming up next is Nickelodeon or something? Because sometimes he said that in the early promos.
Mm. Yeah, yes, quite possibly. But I can't recall any actual scripts from it, if I'm honest.
Oh, I forgot. I have a share screen. Go ahead.
We did so many. We did hundreds of them. I'll see you tomorrow right here on Nick Jr.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah. From what I can remember, I think you narrated for a Thomas game. I think it was Special Delivery.
I did. With Thomas, I never worked on the series. And of course, the series originated here in the UK. And it was originally a model animated series.
Right, and then it turns to CGI, and then now it's 2D, of course.
Yeah, and they've ruined it. But
I'm glad you agree on that fact.
Dreadful. But they what happened was for a time the original series, when it was first made here in the UK, the original narrator was a guy called Ringo Starr, who was one of the Beatles.
Yep.
The pop group Beatles. I mean, more famous than you can ever imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted Ringo Starr to narrate the original Thomas the Tank Engine episodes that they made. He had this very sort of lugubrious Liverpool voice.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
He narrated like that.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is that eventually Ringo Starr said, I'm too famous for this. I don't want to do it anymore. So they employed an actor called Michael Angelis, who sounded quite like Ringo Starr. And but Michael Angelis wasn't prepared to do the toys and the games. So I came in and I was third hand.
Third hand?
The voice of
two.
Third hand. Well, you see, I was the cut price Michael Angelis, who was the cut price Ringo Starr. So that's how I ended up with that job. But I did a lot of work for them, doing my own version of the narrator for Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, yeah.
With a Liverpool accent.
That makes a lot more sense now. All right.
Yeah. So
that's impressive.
But again, that all went.
It all just goes that way and that way. Rest in peace, Michael Angelis. By the way, he passed away last year actually.
Yes, he did last year. Yes, from COVID, unfortunately. Yes.
A little prayer here and there.
So very sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll all miss him. He was great. But like here's like
and
yeah. Sorry to get out of this sad note. But like here's the thing. What do you think of the Thomas reboot? Like what do you think of it?
Well, I have to be careful what I say, really, don't I? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I think of course things have to change. Right. The original series, if you look at it now, it's like it's something from the war. It's so old-fashioned and slow, but it had an extraordinary charm about it, and I think the charm is the thing, and it's a very old-fashioned concept. But I think if parents feel that their children are safe watching the program, it was just going to gently entertain them in a very sweet, old-fashioned way. There's no threat, there's no danger, there's no attitude, there's no
fast speed and everything. That was for the model series.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is the great thing about Thomas the Tank Engine, and that's what the books had, because of course it's based on an original series of books which were written by a vicar, a priest,
Rev W. Audrey.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, and it's gone so far away from that now, that they've missed. They can't see the wood for the trees, if you know what I mean. That's
Mattel's fault on their end, actually. I mean, they're
yes,
they own entertainment
because
now.
It's all about toys.
Yeah,
it's all about toys.
All they want is money, 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 money. Yeah, that's honestly their problem now.
And it's a great pity. You can't let things. You can't preserve things in aspic if you want to keep people watching TV shows, you have to. They have to evolve for sure. But I think what they've done with Thomas has gone way too commercial, and that's a great pity. It's a great pity, but they have their reasons.
Yeah.
That's,
so like
nothing I can do.
Yeah, there's something we can do about it. So like here's the thing. So I've read this story on Facebook. I don't know if many people use Facebook anymore as much, but like I've read this on Facebook with a few Thomas moms. Like, so like they have a few autistic people. Like I'm autistic actually, so like I hope you can understand that. Right. So
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, so she has an autistic son that loved watching the model series. Like you said, it was calm, it was slow to the point.
Yeah.
And when there was trouble, it was just all nitty witty and all that, just a little sprinkle of dust. That's all. Oh no, I spilled dust on the floor. Sweep, sweep, just like that. But but when the model series came in, the mom saw that his son was literally crying and screaming. He's like, "Mom, what happened to my Thomas?" And the mom was so upset over the fact that they changed Thomas. Like the CGI was now fast. It had more action. It was too loud, too colorful. So it was like sensory overload for him.
That's right. Exactly. I absolutely, and I fully get that, and I do. That is why I think they've spoiled it, and
of course.
that to me that's the I have a godson who is now he's about 26 now, but he grew up watching the original Thomas, and again, his mother, my friend Juliet, said the same thing when they started to change it, and suddenly Thomas was looking a bit more,
He was looking a bit more, hey, Percy, let's go to work.
What's going on? Yeah, hi, hey, come on, let's move. And that it totally goes against the grain of that show, where there are plenty of other shows that do that, and I think. Again, I go back to the word charm and the gentle charm of the original books and the series are what made it so popular, really. So this particular child's reaction that you've just told me about is a good example of that.
Exactly. It just makes me feel bad that Entertainment and Mattel decided, hey, let's change it up. I mean, they're trying to focus on a new generation and money, but they have to make it slow somehow, but they can't. They're focusing on the moolah. They're just focusing on
the thing is, there is this phrase in children's television, which is the series toyetic?
Kind of sounds like
it. Which basically means can we shift merchandise off the back of this series, and that it is complicated because a lot of the time investment comes in from toy companies.
Like Hasbro
to production.
And Mattel and everyone like that.
Yeah, and Mattel. Exactly. Hasbro, Mattel. Yes. It happens. They put money into the series knowing that if it's a success, they can then shift toys based upon the series. So it's this phrase, this this word toyetic comes into the equation. So it's not simple making animation anymore. It is not straightforward, and that sort of thing comes into it with
it costs a lot of money, basically.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, there's the money falling down to the ground. It's just sad. It's just sad that Thomas is focusing more on all that instead of just making things work. But that's what they have to do somehow.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It is a shame. I agree. Yeah.
But I still think the future's quite bright.
That's how it goes these days.
Yeah, but I still think the future's quite bright for children's shows. Like least that's what I think.
Oh yeah.
Like, because we got
there's a lot.
because we got great voice actors and animators, like great voice actors like you and everything like that. Basically, I still think we're gonna do it right.
There's always a need for new material, new properties, new ideas, and and actually, I feel that certainly here in the UK, I think there's a great deal of passion and love in the production community for children's TV, whether it's animation or live action or whatever it is. But and I attend a conference every year here in the UK where basically anyone who is anyone in children's media here in the UK and in Europe meet once a year at a conference called the Children's Media Conference, and the passion and the imagination and love is absolutely bursting from the seams. So it isn't all about making money, definitely not. But of course, here and there, some certain productions do make money and make a lot of money, but most people aren't in it for the money. They're in it because they love doing it, or they have a particular project that they're passionate about.
Something like Blues Clues and You, or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many brilliant ideas
shows
and things out there for children, and it's great. It's a very fertile world. Yeah,
I just find it amusing, to say the least. Oh, speaking of face, hold on a second. I actually got something over here that looks similar to him. I cannot believe this. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
You see it? Oh, it's the blur a little bit. Yeah, I got this from like a local Cracker Barrel. It's like an American store restaurant thing. But yeah, it looked similar to Face. So I got it, and now I'm showing it to you. Oh, it keeps blurring it out for some reason.
It's just like Face.
Hi there, Face here.
modeled on me. It's modeled on me.
It's just modeled on you. I'm just gonna place this right here, just for now. All right. Well, before we end this thing off, I think we'll do 2 little Face promos here. One with a promotion. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. All right, let's see here. What can I think of? Like, there's so many things I could think of related to Face. Like, that's the thing. He's just so popular with kids nowadays, and all the time.
Well, I'm delighted. I'm delighted that he's still, people still remember him. That's lovely. That's really nice for me. Yeah,
exactly. I'm just proud that he's still remembered as of today on the Twitter, on Facebook, on everywhere, basically.
Hi there, it's me, Face. And I just want to say what fun I've had talking to Isaac tonight. I know it's afternoon where you are, but anyway, I hope you have a great day and a great night, and see you next time.